Merry meet all. Chaos. So nice, puppy. So trying to dry clothes. The weather is still crappy here in Melbourne, Ballarat. So trying to use a heater to dry my clothes, and don't freak out. Kitty cat! Aren't she beautiful? So I've just had a consult with a vet over the phone. Not ideal because I'd like to have brought her in, but this vet is way too far, and I don't think Catherine could travel that far. Partly because she doesn't know how to drink water out of my hand yet, or a cup. But she's doing well. So anyway, the long and the short of it. I attached a link to her in the bathtub, and he said it looks okay how she's swimming, but the fact she's not weight bearing, the plug needs to go. I mean, yeah. So I've got rid of most of the plugs. There's just one left, and it was reducing, but we just had some really windy, crappy weather that seems to have picked up again. And I noticed that her and the boy were sort of huddling and not eating as much, and I think they're just scared of the weather and the wind when they were outside during the day. And she can't afford to not get all her nutrition, so I'm just thinking that affected her continuation of fighting the infection, which pretty much, the plug is resulting from an infection from an initial injury of some sort, cut or scrape. But we need to get it removed. I have no doubt there's probably other underlying things or something else that's underlying everything regarding her mobility and hips. But the most pressing thing is to get this plug. So now I need to find a vet that's closer to me down this way that will remove it. I was given a look for a vet in Strathfield, which is down Bendigo way. So I'm going to hunt her down and see what she says. I mean, could I remove it myself? I mean, I've seen people remove plugs whom aren't qualified to, veterinary wise. I mean, I am doing applied animal science, so I probably know more than what they do. I just don't, I don't want to take off too much. I don't want to take off too little. And I think experienced hands in doing it correctly is important. So I'm going to find this lady, and then we're going to try and make a plan to get us to a vet to remove this last stubborn, persistent remainder of a plug. This last plug that she's got, it covered her entire foot pad. Not the toes, just the actual, foot itself. It's literally a quarter of that size now. But it's obviously causing her discomfort to walk on. But, if we don't remove that, if there is anything underlying, like, neurological or hips, then, we gotta do this. We gotta get rid of, fix whatever is most prominent. So I really valued having the online consult because, it's, as a pet owner, you are emotional. You care a lot about your animals. And I know she came to me like this, and, really she shouldn't have been my responsibility. The first owner should have had a duty of care, especially since they're supposed to be some fantastic breeder. They had a duty of care to make sure that the birds were healthy, and they failed that. Whether they failed it from ignorance or deliberate neglect, doesn't matter. They failed that. But she's my responsibility now. She loves that. Yeah, like a cat. Yeah, kitty cat. So she's just rugged up as a bug in a rug. It's uncomfortable for her to stand, so she doesn't do it a lot. And we're about to have breakfast soon. A very late breakfast. It's like nearly 11 o'clock. Hey? Catherine, you're such a beautiful girl. Is that nice? She loves her face being rubbed. Were you a Kit Kat in the past life? Eh? Were you a kitty cat? Were you a big white Norwegian forest cat? Eh? Are you now a duck in this life? Eh? Is that nice? No. They've come such a long way though, her and the boy. Like they were so scared and panicked and just absolutely flinching and shaking, and the boy especially, like I don't know, I feel like he copped it somehow. It was almost like they were scared of me grabbing their legs or something, like they've been picked up by their legs, or yeah. Isn't she beautiful? She's just chilling. Look at your beautiful eyes. Because I mean, look, the discomfort of not being able to weight bear sure has a flow-on effect in other areas. She was starting to lay her eggs for the first time, but then she started to do a molt, which is really unseasonal because like they should have done that in autumn, winter, but she was doing it in early spring, and it's like, well, hang on. But if they haven't had the nutrition they need, everything's all pear-shaped, you know, nothing's going the way it should usually go time-wise. So I'll add a link to this post of the bird clinic here in Melbourne. You know, it's a shame that they're so far from me. She just won't make the trip. Otherwise, I would have taken her down there. I really don't have the money for it all. Like, I've already been tapped out with all the things that I needed to do for the birds before I got these two, and then getting these two, and then being lumped with all this time as well, extra time that I already don't have. But we are just pushing through. We're just taking each day as it comes. You thirsty, honey? We'll get you some water. Yeah, we'll get you into the tub. We've got fresh hay in the tub, and we'll get you some water. Good girl. So I'm going to turn this camera off because I can see she actually wants some water now. She's been sitting up here patiently for the past 15 minutes. Past 8 minutes as Mama Rabbit's on. I'll add a link to the bird vet clinic. There's only one in Melbourne that does what they do with birds. So, yeah. Yo, and they don't discriminate against duckies. No. Not like some vets. They discriminate against the poor duckies. I know. We can't just have a world of cats and dogs. No. We need feathers as well. Feathers are important. Is that nice? Yo. Oh, Catherine. Catherine, my little snuggle bug. We get you some water. You thirsty? Let's get some water into you. Yeah. Blessed be, and Mary Part, just a little update on Catherine here. I was going to upload a video of her walking, but this morning, and I wasn't expecting that I'd get a phone call from, you know, the clinic to make the payment first and then the vet later. So it's sort of like I was in the middle of doing my morning duck juggle, getting my ducks outside from being in the house at night. And yeah, oh well. We are where we are. I'll add a link to their details at the bottom. And I just record little Catherine here all snuggle-buggled instead, being pampered and spoiled. Also, just very quickly, I started using a drawing salve last night. She's responded really well to it. She's finding it very comfortable. I'm basically working it into and holding it into the plug that we have remaining. So I'm hoping that helps to draw things out until we can get to someone to remove surgically the plug properly. Blessed be, and in sterile conditions, of course, too. But anyway, blessed be, and Mary Part, you say goodbye, Catherine? Yeah, he's a good girl. He's a good girl. Is that nice? Is that nice? You're a funny girl. Look at your pretty eyes. Bless the bee, Mary Pat. You say bye, Catherine?